Hi. In this video I'm going to read to you a financial horror story entitled The Extortionist, inspired by The Exorcist. It is covered in Swiss Francenstein Financial Horror Stories on page 99. The Extortionist. So, a very warm welcome to JPE and Partners. And let's toast to that, said young Peter Engelhardt with a big smile as he raised his glass. Some 15 new associates raised their glasses as well. They were all sharply dressed young men and women in business attire, mostly in their 20s. The party at an exclusive bar in Amsterdam's Zuidas financial district continued until late. Jan Peter had also become known as Jan Private Equity. Not surprisingly, as he had become the rising star in the business of private equity, buying private companies, growing them and turning them around to increase value, then selling them. In just 10 years, he had invested in over 25 of these portfolio companies and sold them off for a total value of over 30 billion euro. That by itself did not make the firm belong to the international top 10 yet, but the growth rate of the firm had been spectacular. Many in the private equity industry considered JPE, as he was normally referred to be the next Henry Kravis, co-founder of KKR, the legendary American private equity firm. KKR had become famous for its hostile takeover of RJR Nabisco, which gave it a reputation of barbarians at the gate of portfolio companies. As the best-selling book on the acquisition was entitled, JPE was not known for hostile takeovers, but he had built a similar reputation of being a wolf in sheep's clothing. His smile was ever friendly, his clothes were ever smart and well cut to the bone, and his demeanor was ever composed. However, he was known for having a coercive way of building and extracting value out of portfolio companies. When his firm was compared to KKR, he often joked that he is a barbarian only after passing the gate. It had countless backstories, but he never commented on them beyond giving one of his most famous smiles. Inevitably, the conversation over drinks would be about him. He smiles a lot. I like his smile, said a charming new associate after a few drinks to one of the other junior associates that had been around in the firm for some time. His smile looks good indeed, said the associate, but wait until you've met him as a portfolio company CEO. What about that? He's not quite the angel heart that his surname suggests. They say his method to get the management of portfolio companies to increase value is, how shall I put it, unorthodox. What is unorthodox about it? The senior associate looked around, presumably to see if JPE was nearby. What normally happens is that he organizes an offsite after each acquisition of a portfolio company. She started laughing quietly. He invites the senior management at his home in Bloemendaal and then, giving new meaning to the concept of leveraged buyout. They call these offsite offersites, conducted in his Temple of Boom. Offersites? Yes, nobody really knows what happens, but they say JPE is using some kind of leverage to make management offer the best they can deliver. What is that supposed to mean? That's $1 million question, the associate smiled. I'm getting another drink. So Vincent, your company is now part of JPE Partners family. Do you know what that means? JPE stopped walking around the CEO of Buy.nl, the company that his firm had just bought, and looked at him in the eyes from close by. Vincent was in his late 30s, just like him. He had a similar success story as JPE, having founded a company that had rapidly become successful. An internet retailer grown partly due to the absence of expensive real estate in city centers. I suppose you will tell me what that means. Vincent looked up at JPE. His voice sounded slightly intimidated, defensive. He was sitting in a modern design chair in JPE's living room. Correct. Let me tell you what that means. That means that you will have to earn a lot of money to pay off the loan that we obtained to buy your shares. It's a very big loan, Vincent. And you know what? That's not all. You will have to earn even more to give me and my investors a stellar return. JPE walked slowly to the window and looked outside. Do you know what a stellar return is, Vincent? Vincent did not respond. JPE paused for a bit. I have a reputation to keep up. You must have heard of it. That reputation has been hard earned. In private equity, you don't build a reputation unless you make a serious return on investment. He turned around and looked at Vincent. A decent return is anything over 10%, but that's just a good return. At JPE, we require stellar returns. He walked back to Vincent slowly and stopped in front of Vincent again. I will be expecting 15% or more year on year for about 5 years. Is that clear? That is impossible. Even Amazon does not make that sort of returns. Although, yes, it is possible, Vincent. It is very much possible, and you will make it possible. Let me tell you how. I noticed you're a nice guy, friendly guy, kind to others. He looked at Vincent deep in the eyes again. You are going to have to let that go, Vincent. We both know that you can easily get many more brick and mortar shops out of business if you are more aggressive. Drop prices more to gain more market share. It's a free market out there. You have been holding back to keep your reputation up, to avoid painful measures, to avoid pushing small shops out of business. Do you know why I bought your company? Why don't you tell me? Because I know you can increase your market share dramatically this way. You just have to do it, to want it, to execute on it. It is as simple as that. Ignore publicity. People will prefer the underdog publicly, but they buy where they find the lowest price. They will buy from the winner. They cannot just blame the supplier. They have to look in the mirror and blame the demand as well. The buyers on buy.nl are the ones that put little businesses out of business, not you. Businesses have been disrupted all the time, everywhere. If you don't do it, someone else will. Vincent was digesting the message. Even if I do what he says, this will not be achievable, and I will ruin all goodwill I've built up. This kind of cutthroat business will backfire. He's just looking at the short or medium term. It's not his baby, it's mine. He will just sell it off again. I own your company, Vincent. If you don't deliver stellar returns, I'll give your company to someone else to manage. It happens all the time. Think it over, Vincent. You have a pleasant life, you have nice toys, your car, your boat, your villa with a view in Vinkerveen. Your wife has a pleasant life, your kids go to a good school, have nice toys. Imagine that could all be out of the window if you are on the street. If you lose the business you built from scratch, your baby, Vincent. It would be a shame, a real shame, if your wife has to tell her friends at the golf club that her husband did not adequately perform and got fired. Or worse, they read it in the paper. Imagine what happens if she finds out in the PC Hoofdstraat that her credit cards don't work anymore. I can destroy you and your family, Vincent, your efforts, your reputation, your opportunities, and I will. A lot depends on this. That would not be great, Vincent, don't you agree? Vincent did not respond. The bastard is threatening me. It's not untrue though. He is just very open about it, whilst other investors are probably less clear. I don't know actually. It would be a tough message at home indeed. Pippa has practically been a widow since he started the business with the long days he made, and the boys only saw him in the weekend for an hour or so. The money and status had been the only excuse. If that was gone, that would indeed be not great. Ruining the lives of small shop owners and becoming known as the next ruthless internet retail magnate would not be great either, but perhaps JP had a point. If I don't do it, someone else will. I'm making you an offer you can't refuse. JP walked to the window again. You will be sharing in your own success, of course, handsomely, like all big disruptors that took over entire markets. You will get a good percentage of the 25% carried interest our investors make, and an additional substantial bonus if you achieve the 15% year on year. I find it crucial to align interests, you see. JP looked at Vincent from the window and liked what he saw. The body language of another portfolio company's CEO that decides to meet my targets after a hard struggle. One day later, JPE and Vincent were standing side by side in the boardroom of JPE Partners, facing a small gathering of journalists. We are proud to welcome Buy.nl as a new member of the JPE Partners family. The company has kickstarted itself in the Dutch real retail landscape and has done a great job to provide customers with a wide spectrum of products, offered at the lowest possible price available in the market from the comfort of their chairs. We believe the company is well positioned to capture a much larger part of the market. We've just gone through an offsite to get to know each other better on a personal level, to discuss and align our interests. We believe Buy.nl will be a great addition to our portfolio.